For 74 days, American battleships and bombers unleashed hell on Iwo Jima.
7,000 tons of explosives and 22,000 shells rained down on the island.
The sky was ash, the earth was fire, and yet the defenders remained. Hidden beneath 11 miles of tunnels, the Japanese were untouched.
Every cave was a trap. Every bunker, a fortress.
When the Marines stormed ashore on February 19, 1945, they expected ruins. Instead, they met steel, stone, and fire. The island was alive.
Pinned down and bleeding, the Marines were desperate for a miracle.
Medic! Medic!
Then came a sound no one had heard before. A sharp hiss, followed by a roar. A jet of flame erupted from a Sherman tank, reaching 150 yards.
The bunkers that no shell could crack now burned like furnaces.
To the Marines, it was salvation. To the Japanese, terror beyond death. Go!
Only 8 of these Shermans landed on Iwo Jima, but they changed everything.
These were not ordinary tanks. They were America's secret weapon, the Flamethrower Shermans. Iwo Jima wasn't just a rock. It was the stepping stone to Japan itself.
From its airfields, bombers could strike the mainland and return safely.
We're hit! We're hit!
The Japanese understood its value and turned it into an underground fortress.
General Tadamichi Kuribayashi commanded the defense with brutal precision.
He banned banzai charges. No beach suicides. This would be different.
It's not the way.
Let me go.
He built 11 miles of tunnels, linking bunkers, caves, and nests. Artillery was hidden. Machine guns camouflaged. Every inch, a killing field.
His men were told, "Fight until you die."
Where are they? When the Marines landed, they thought the island was dead.
It wasn't. It was waiting, patient, silent, and deadly.
By the end of the first day, 2,000 Marines were dead or wounded.
Naval guns had failed. Airstrikes had failed. Everything had failed. Flamethrowers existed, but they exposed their users. Most didn't survive.
A man with a flamethrower had to get within 30 yards.
30 yards, under fire. Most never made it back.
The Marines needed something armored, something terrifying.
In Hawaii, a team of engineers, Seabees, and tankers worked without rest. They welded, cut, and improvised. Studied British and German designs.
Piece by piece, a new weapon took shape.
A Sherman tank, its main cannon replaced by a flamethrower. It could fire napalm 150 yards. No tank had done that. The flame clung to rock, steel, and flesh. It didn't burn. It consumed.
Unlike old systems, this one used nitrogen pressure. Stable, reliable.
The turret could rotate fully, fire from any angle.
By early 1945, only 8 of these tanks existed. They were disguised to look like regular Shermans until they fired.
No one knew if they'd work. But they had no choice.
On February 20th, near the first airfield, the flame tanks saw combat.
Hold position!
Pillboxes pinned the Marines. Then the first burst of fire.
The bunker exploded from within. The defenders screamed.
In minutes, Marines took more ground than in the previous 2 days. They're working! The tanks are working!
Word spread fast. The Flamethrower tanks worked.
For the first time, Japanese soldiers fled positions rather than fight.
Flame tanks led every assault from that day forward.
Sherman in position.
Tactics changed. The tanks moved in spirals, probing with fire.
Corkscrew and burn, they called it.
Execute Corkscrew Alpha.
Shermans would circle bunkers, spraying fire into every opening. Engineers followed behind, blowing open whatever remained. On Mount Suribachi, the tanks fired above cave mouths.
The flames didn't just burn, they sucked the oxygen away.
Men inside suffocated, panicked, and ran straight into waiting fire.
The Marines, once dying by the hundreds, now advanced.
Clear left flank.
But the Japanese didn't break. Not yet.
Hill 382, a maze of gorges. Kuribaya's last stand.
Only flame tanks could reach the defenders in those positions. Crews held their nozzles on steel shutters until they glowed red. Then came the burst. A storm of fire. Unstoppable, unrelenting. Some defenders chose to charge, explosives strapped to their bodies.
Some succeeded. Crews burned alive inside their steel coffins.
But each night, under fire, Navy Seabees brought the tanks back.
Each tank was refueled with thickened gasoline, napalm for the next day.
Flame crews rarely spoke. Their work didn't need words.
The tanks cleared the path, and the Marines followed through fire.
Go! Go! Go!
Inside, the heat was unbearable. The silence, louder than war.
March 21st, 6 tanks, over 8,000 gallons of fuel. The last push, entire ridges burned. Bunkers collapsed. The defenders broke.
Kuribayashi vanished, his last message unread, his fate unknown.
By March 26th, Iwo Jima was declared secure. But the cost was unimaginable.
26,000 wounded. Nearly 7,000 Marines dead.
Almost all 21,000 Japanese defenders perished. They fought to the end.
Only 200 were captured alive. They feared fire more than death.
Analysts later said the tanks saved 5,000 American lives.
But for the men who operated them, the memories never faded.
They remembered screams from tunnels and bunkers, glowing like ovens.
Victory came, but so did scars that never healed.
Flame tanks returned in Okinawa, Korea, and Vietnam. Refined, but just as brutal.
Flame tank forward!
The weapons changed. The mission didn't. Fire was still the answer. In Vietnam, the jungle burned. Tunnels collapsed under fire.
But even in war, there were questions. How far was too far?
Back home, consciences shifted. Fire became a symbol of cruelty. In the 1970s, the world changed. Flame tanks were outlawed. Once feared and revered, they were dismantled and forgotten.
Only one remains, scarred, silent, preserved in Quantico.
It stands not just as a machine, but as memory, as judgment.
Each scar, each dent, each bolt, part of a story written in fire. 8 tanks, 8 crews, thousands of lives saved, and thousands lost.
On that black sand, fire became fate, salvation, damnation.
Fallen never saw the end, but their sacrifice lit the path forward.
We must remember not just what we won, but how we won it.
Halfway across the Pacific, a speck of rock-shaped history.
And in that fire, heroes walked. Many never returned.
The weapons have changed. The fire, now controlled, now precise.
But courage, that remains. Etched in stone, forged in heat.
The war was more than battles. It was innovation, sacrifice, fire.
8 tanks changed the course of a battle. But men bore the weight.
And history remembers. In fire, in metal, and in memory.